all of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, T.G. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need to know. You here, get through that.
Welcome to this new series called The Music Industry Chronicles. I'm your host, Shayna Pierre. Each week, we will bring you episodes covering significant events from various music industries, some of which you may be familiar with and others that might be new to you. While we strive for a high degree of accuracy, aiming for a minimum of 95%, please note that we cannot guarantee complete accuracy. Our inaugural episode is a 3-part series focusing on the life of Sean Love Combs. To fully appreciate the impact and journey of Mr. Combs, we must delve into his beginnings. The first part of this series provides an overview of his adolescence, his rise in the music industry, and his current legal battles. The second part will delve deeper into the intricacies of his career, exploring his major achievements and challenges. The third part will offer an analysis of his influence on the music industry and his ongoing legacy. Stay tuned for an insightful journey into the life of one of the most iconic figures in the music world. Sean John Combs, born in Harlem, New York on November 4th, 1969, rose from humble beginnings to become a titan in the music industry and beyond. His early life was marked by both tragedy and ambition. Combs' father, Melvin Earl Combs, was tragically murdered when Sean was just 3 years old. Melvin Combs was an associate of notorious New York City drug lord Frank Lucas. Combs, at age 33, was fatally gunned down in 1972 after a failed drug deal due to being mistaken for a police informant. Hip-hop culture researcher and founder of Valtown Entertainment, Brian Volman, shared a March 2024 thread on X, formerly Twitter, about Melvin Combs allegedly being slaughtered over claims that he was cooperating with federal investigators in a drug probe. While there was no proof that Melvin was going to turn on his fellow illicit business associates, this tale has lived on for years. In a February 1973, an article in the New York Times titled 10 Found Guilty of Heroin Charges, Combs was named as a co-conspirator in a massive narcotics case, though he'd already passed away before the others were convicted. Prosecutors on the case believed his passing could be linked to other members involved, though it's unclear who and why this could be. Online forums have also debated whether or not Melvin's being a police informant played a role in his demise. Melvin's death forced Sean's mother, Janice Combs, to raise him and his sister Keisha Combs alone. Despite the hardships, Janice instilled in her son a strong work ethic and a belief in education. Combs attended the prestigious Mount St. Michael Academy, a Roman Catholic private school which is located in the Bronx. So yes, Diddy was an altar boy. He was a driven student and a talented athlete, excelling on the football field according to many sources. Combs then went on to pursue a business degree at Howard University, a historically black college in Washington, D.C. While at Howard, Combs' entrepreneurial spirit began to flourish. He organized parties and events, quickly gaining a reputation for his hustle and charisma. However, Combs' true passion lay in music. He balanced his studies with an internship at Uptown Records, a prominent New York City record label. This experience would prove to be a turning point in his life, setting him on the path to becoming the icon known as Diddy. Growing up in Harlem, Combs was deeply influenced by the vibrant culture and community around him. The rich history of Harlem's music and art scene played a significant role in shaping his artistic vision. Even as a young man, Combs showed a knack for business, selling newspapers and working odd jobs to support his family. His determination and resilience were evident from a young age, qualities that would later define his career. The legacy of the Harlem Renaissance and its cultural impact were not lost on Combs, who drew inspiration from the greats who came before him. He remained connected to his roots, often participating in community events and giving back to the neighborhood that raised him. These early experiences in Harlem laid the foundation for Combs' future success, shaping him into the visionary leader and cultural icon he would become. At Uptown Records, Sean Combs' raw talent and unwavering determination were impossible to ignore. He quickly rose through the ranks, going from intern to A&R executive in record time. This period at Uptown was crucial for Combs' development. It provided him with invaluable experience in the music industry. From discovering and nurturing new artists to understanding the intricacies of production and marketing. Combs' keen ear for talent led him to discover and sign the Notorious B.I.G, a rapper who would go on to become a legend. He also worked closely with Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, Mace, Craig Mack, Usher, The Lox, and other rising stars, honing his skills as a producer and shaping the sound of a generation. Combs' vision was clear: to create music that fused hip-hop beats with soulful melodies, appealing to a broad audience. Combs' time at Uptown was not without its challenges. Despite his success, he felt creatively stifled. He yearned for the freedom to explore his own musical vision and build something lasting. His desire for autonomy and creative control ultimately led him to make a bold decision to leave the security of Uptown and strike out on his own. In 1993, Combs took a leap of faith, founding his own label, Bad Boy Entertainment. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in Combs' life, one that would see him rise to even greater heights and redefine the music industry. The launch of Bad Boy Entertainment was a defining moment in hip-hop history. With this bold move, Sean Combs, now known as Puff Daddy, solidified his position as a force to be reckoned with. Bad Boy wasn't just a record label, it was a cultural movement reflecting the energy, ambition, and entrepreneurial spirit of its founder. Combs' vision for Bad Boy was clear: to create a label that embodied his unique musical sensibilities. He sought out artists who were raw, talented, and hungry for success. One of his earliest signings was the Notorious B.I.G, who he had brought with him from Uptown. B.I.G.'s debut album, Ready to Die, released in 1994, became an instant classic, catapulting both the rapper and Bad Boy to the forefront of the hip-hop scene. Bad Boy's success was fueled by a string of hit albums and singles. Combs had an uncanny ability to identify and cultivate talent. He signed artists like Faith Evans, The Lox, 112, and Total, all of whom achieved commercial success under his guidance. Bad Boy's sound characterized by its slick production, catchy hooks, and blend of hip-hop and R&B influences, dominated the airwaves and became synonymous with the sound of the 1990s. Combs' own production skills were also on full display during this era. He crafted hits for his own artists and collaborated with some of the biggest names in music, including Mariah Carey, Boyz II Men, and Lil' Kim. Bad Boy became a breeding ground for a new generation of producers and songwriters, solidifying its place as a powerhouse in the music industry. The label's artists frequently performed on major stages, further cementing their influence in the music world. Bad Boy's branding extended beyond music, with merchandise and a distinct visual style that became iconic. Sean Combs' business acumen was instrumental in navigating the label through the competitive music industry. While Bad Boy Records and its artists were taking over the airwaves, a sequence of tragedies started to occur, starting with the death of Sean's at the time best friend and protege. On March 9, 1997, Christopher Wallace attended the Soul Train Music Awards after party, hosted by Vibe magazine and Quest Records at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles. He was accompanied by his entourage, which included his music industry colleagues and friends. As the event concluded in the early hours of the morning, Wallace and his entourage left the party. He was traveling in the front passenger seat of a GMC Suburban SUV, driven by his associate Gregory G. Money Young. They were part of a 3-car convoy that also included Wallace's security detail and other associates. Around 12:45 a.m., as the convoy stopped at a red light at the corner of Wilshire Boulevard and South Fairfax Avenue, a dark-colored Chevrolet Impala SS pulled up alongside Wallace's SUV. A lone gunman, described as an African-American male in a blue suit and bow tie, rolled down his window and opened fire with a 9mm pistol. Wallace was struck by 4 bullets. Wallace was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center by his entourage, but despite the efforts of emergency medical staff, he was pronounced dead at 1:15 a.m. He was 24 years old at the time of his death. The murder of Christopher Wallace remains unsolved, and numerous theories and speculations have surrounded the case. Various potential motives and suspects have been suggested, including connections to the East Coast-West Coast rap feud, gang affiliations, and possible involvement of individuals within the music industry. Despite extensive investigations and multiple leads over the years, no one has been officially charged or convicted for his murder. The loss of the Notorious B.I.G. was a devastating blow to Bad Boy Entertainment and the hip-hop community. His legacy, however, continues to influence and inspire artists to this day. After his friend Biggie Smalls was murdered in 1997, Combs recorded the tribute "I'll Be Missing You," which topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 11 weeks and launched Combs' first album, No Way Out 1997, to platinum status. Nielsen's SoundScan named No Way Out as the 3rd best-selling LP of 1997, with more than 3.4 million copies sold in the United States. Both the single I'll Be Missing You and the album No Way Out won Grammys the following year for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group and Best Rap Album, respectively. Sting originally took the rap mogul to court in the early 2000s, successfully winning the lawsuit and being awarded 100% of the song's royalties and $5,000 a day for not securing the rights. Combs released his second album, Forever, in 1999. In December 1999, Combs Lopez, his bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones, and the 21-year-old rapper Jamal Shine Barrow, a Combs protege, were involved in a disagreement at Club New York in Manhattan that ended with gunfire and left 3 people injured. Matthew Allen, aka Scar. The name was a derivative of Scarface, the infamous 1983 film that inspired so many tough guys and drug dealers. Scar was a notorious Brooklyn thug known for his young life of crime. His most publicized act was starting an argument with Bad Boy Records CEO Puff Daddy on December 27, 1999, at Club New York after the star accidentally knocked over his drink. Puff and Scar got into a heated argument that ended with Scar and one of his friends throwing a wad of cash into Puff's face. The then 30-year-old record mogul stood alongside then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones, and 21-year-old rapper Jamal Shine Barrow, who was a former Brooklyn street kid signed to Bad Boy Records. As folks near them scattered, customers screamed and shots rang out. One patron, Natanya Rubin, was blasted in the face and 2 others were also wounded. Combs, Lopez, and Jones left the club and led police on a chase through New York City that ended with police finding a stolen gun inside the car. Natanya Rubin, one of the 3 people shot during the altercation, maintains Combs was the one who shot her that night and has renewed her accusation in recent days. Combs and Lopez were arrested, detained, and initially charged for their involvement in the shooting, but the charges were quickly dropped against Lopez. Combs, Jones, and Barrow faced charges related to gun possession, and prosecutors alleged Combs and Jones attempted to bribe the driver of the car that left the nightclub to tell police the gun was his in exchange for $50,000. After a weeks-long trial, Combs and Jones were acquitted, but a New York jury found Barrow guilty of 5 charges, including criminal possession of a weapon, first-degree assault, and reckless endangerment, though Barrow was acquitted of attempted murder. Barrow was sentenced and served nearly 9 years for his charges, though no one was ever charged and found guilty for the shooting itself, $130 million. That's how much Rubin sued Combs for in 2008 because of the shooting. In 2011, Combs settled a lawsuit with all 3 people, including Rubin, who were shot during the incident for an undisclosed amount, according to Reuters. Side note, how the shooting started. Following the street code of conduct after the shooting, Scar never testified. However, he did send in a signed affidavit stating he was shot at by Sean and Shine. It should also be noted that there was allegedly a plot to kill Scar, and Diddy was said to have allegedly put out the hit. The hit was supposed to happen after Scar was supposed to pick up $250K to not testify, but instead he would be murdered on sight. Matthew Scar Allen was tragically murdered outside Brooklyn, New York's Footprints nightclub on Sunday, December 4, 2011. According to reports, Scar was targeted by 2 gunmen as he exited the popular venue. The assailants opened fire. Scar was struck once in the head, resulting in his immediate death at the scene. After Combs' acquittal in the nightclub shooting in 2001, he reportedly stated he was headed straight to church. He never made it to church. Instead, he later made a less God-fearing visit to the Peninsula Hotel, where he was throwing a massive bash to celebrate the verdict. In attendance were Brandy and her then-boyfriend Fredro Starr, Ray J, Russell Simmons, and many more celebrities joined the party throughout the evening. Although after setting up, hotel security notified staff to keep off the penthouse per Mr. Combs' request. It was there that Anna, a freelance graphic designer working with Bad Boy's marketing team, says Combs approached her and began to massage her shoulders. The woman requested a pseudonym, citing fear of retribution. "I'm getting touched on my shoulder, my arms, my back." He's like, "Oh, yeah, you like that. I know you like that." Like really, really gross, Anna recalls. Combs has never been married despite several high-profile relationships. Previously, the music producer dated fashion stylist Misa Hilton, which he has one son who is rumored to be the actual son of his former bodyguard, Wolf. Former model Kim Porter, with whom he had one son and twin daughters, singer and actress Jennifer Lopez, singer-actress Cassandra Ventura, Gina Hun, influencer rapper Young Miami, Dana Tran, a cybersecurity specialist. They never actually dated, however. They do have a daughter together. Sarah Chapman, a businesswoman, again, she too never actually dated. However, they do have a daughter together. Combs was also romantically linked to actress Cameron Diaz. On November 17, 2023, the New York Times reported his former girlfriend, Cassie, filed a lawsuit seeking unspecified damages and alleging Combs physically abused her, forced her to have sex with other men during the course of their relationship, and raped her in 2018 toward the end of their relationship. Combs vehemently denied the allegations, according to his lawyer. Just one day after filing the suit, Cassie reached an undisclosed settlement with Combs. "I have decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control," she said. Months later, in May 2024, CNN released a security video of Combs assaulting Cassie inside a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016, throwing her to the ground and appearing kicking her twice. He apologized on Instagram 2 days later for his disgusting behavior in the footage. Less than a week after the settlement with Cassie, 2 other women filed civil lawsuits accusing Combs of sexual abuse. One plaintiff alleged Combs drugged and raped her in 1991, then distributed footage of the attack without her consent, according to the Associated Press. The other woman says Combs and R&B singer Aaron Hall sexually assaulted her and a friend in the early 1990s. Days later, Combs physically assaulted the plaintiff, who says she was 16 years old at the time, while trying to stop her from speaking out. Hall hasn't commented on the lawsuit. The 2 cases against Combs are ongoing as of March 2024. Following another suit filed on December 6th accusing the rapper of raping a 17-year-old in 2003, Combs released a statement denying all of the allegations against him. "I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday." In 1990, Combs starts his music industry career as an intern at Uptown Records, working under executive Andre Harrell. According to a November 2023 lawsuit, Combs and the R&B singer Aaron Hall allegedly sexually assault an unnamed victim and a friend after a music industry event, then beat her several days later when confronted. According to a November 2023 lawsuit, Combs allegedly drugs, sexually assaults and videotapes 19-year-old Joy Dickerson after going on a date with him in 1991. In 1995-1996, according to a May 2024 lawsuit, Combs allegedly sexually assaulted April Lampros on several occasions. In one incident, she alleges he forced her to perform oral sex in a car, which she says was witnessed by a parking attendant. In another, she claims that he forced ecstasy down her throat, made her have sex with his then girlfriend Kim Porter, and then raped her. In 1996, Combs is found guilty of criminal mischief for threatening a photographer from the New York Post with a gun. In 1998, Combs starts throwing his annual Hamptons all-white parties that come to be known as so lavish and exclusive. He earns the rep of being a modern-day Gatsby. Guests range from music industry execs and artists to actors, real estate moguls, and sports team owners. April 16, 1999, Combs is arrested and charged with 2 felonies, second-degree assault, and criminal mischief, in the beating of record executive Steve Stout, who says Combs and 2 bodyguards beat him with their fists, a telephone, a champagne bottle, and a chair. When Combs publicly apologizes, Stout asks for the charges to be dismissed. Combs reportedly pays Stout $500,000. The assault charge is dropped. Combs pleads guilty to the lesser charge of harassment, and he is sentenced to 1 day of anger management classes. March 2000, the first season of Making the Band airs on ABC, then later MTV. The reality TV competition centers Combs as he searches for new talent to put together in a band. Running for 12 seasons total, the show later became a cultural staple for MTV, and through it, Combs created bands like Day 26 and Danity Kane, all signed to Bad Boy Records. In 2000-2001, according to a May 2024 lawsuit, Combs allegedly attacked April Lampros again in her apartment. March 26, 2001, in a lawsuit, local TV host Roger Mills sues Combs, accusing him of assault, false imprisonment, destruction of property, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and a civil conspiracy, in an exchange where Combs' entourage roughed him up and destroyed his camera. As we have yet to be served with this complaint, we are unable to comment on specific allegations, a Combs spokesperson said in a statement. However, any claim that Mr. Combs participated in any wrongdoing is totally false. Furthermore, facilitating the press with this baseless complaint is a blatant attempt to exploit Mr. Combs' celebrity for media attention. A jury finds in favor of Combs in 2004. 2003, according to a December 2023 lawsuit, Combs, his former Bad Boy Records president, Harve Pierre, and a third unidentified man allegedly gang raped an unnamed 17-year-old victim at a Manhattan recording studio. 2003, according to a May 2024 lawsuit, Combs allegedly drugged and sexually assaulted the then 22-year-old model, Crystal McKinney, in his New York City studio, forcing her to perform oral sex. 2005, Combs and the singer Cassie Ventura meet for the first time, and Combs expresses interest in wanting to sign her to his label. Ventura is 19 years old and Combs is 37. February 2006, Ventura signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Entertainment. Her debut single, Me and You, is released, and her self-titled album drops the same year. According to a November 2023 lawsuit, Combs' vicious cycle of abuse begins here. After years in silence and darkness, I am finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships, Ventura said in a statement accompanying her lawsuit. This was an opportunity to speak up about the trauma I have experienced and that I will be recovering from for the rest of my life. In 2023, as Ventura's damning allegations were on the verge of going public, Combs was strategizing, according to Jones, who produced multiple songs on Combs' Grammy-nominated 2023 release, the Love album, Off the Grid. He detailed how he planned to leverage his relationship with celebrity pastor Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the impact on his public image, Jones wrote in a sworn declaration in April. Publicly, Combs seemingly jumped into overdrive, producing positive press. He fulfilled his $1 million promises to his alma mater, Howard University, and the football program at another historically black college, Jackson State University. He launched Empower Global, an e-commerce platform for black entrepreneurs. And in dropping his new album, proclaiming he was in his love era, he announced that he was giving bad boy artists and songwriters their publishing rights back. Only some artists say they were offered rights back, and Danity Kane's Aubrey O'Day said she refused because her offer came with a mandatory non-disclosure agreement. A 2016 surveillance video obtained by CNN shows Sean Diddy Combs violently grab, shove, drag, and kick his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. The hotel security footage prompted horrified reactions around the world, forced Combs to acknowledge his actions. Combs made a rare admission of guilt, but tailored it to that incident. "I was fucked up, I hit rock bottom, and I make no excuses. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted." He claimed he went to therapy and rehab and was truly sorry. Ventura's lawyer said Combs' apology showed his pathetic desperation. Ventura alleges years of physical, psychological, and emotional abuse. She claims Combs forced her to purchase and take illegal drugs like cocaine, ketamine, and ecstasy, that he filmed her as he forced her to participate in sex with male sex workers in multiple cities for his own voyeuristic pleasure in a practice he called freak-offs, and that he beat her on many occasions in retaliation for talking to other men, often with witnesses present. March 6, 2007, in a lawsuit, Gerard Recknitzer alleges that Combs punched him, pushed his girlfriend, and tried to spit on another woman outside Teddy's nightclub at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. In a statement, Combs' attorney, Benjamin Brafman, says, "It's just another example of an opportunist seeking to fabricate a lawsuit based on a flat-out lie to try to take advantage of Mr. Combs' celebrity status." The case is settled out of court in March 2008, the terms undisclosed. May 11, 2007. In a complaint to the police, Combs, making the band co-star Lorian Gibson, alleges that he threatened her with a chair while New Edition's Michael Bivins held her in place. Combs' attorney, Brafman, claims Gibson overreacted to theatrics performed for the cameras. Sources claimed to the New York Daily News that he yelled for the cameras to be turned off. This is just another example of a false accusation by someone trying to take advantage of Sean's success and celebrity status, Brafman says. 2010. In the November 2023 suit, Ventura claims all aspects of her life were controlled by either Mr. Combs or his management companies. She claims he paid for her apartment and all living expenses, and that he had access to her medical records. For instance, when Ms. Ventura began experiencing memory loss, potentially due to excessive drug use and or head injuries caused by Mr. Combs' beatings, as described below, her MRI results were provided directly to Mr. Combs. Mr. Combs also repeatedly arranged for his staff to drive Ms. Ventura to certain doctor's appointments. In this way, Mr. Combs exerted ownership over Ms. Ventura. February 2012. In the November 2023 suit, Ventura alleges that Combs said he was going to blow up the car of rapper Kid Cudi, whom Ventura was dating at the time, and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car car exploded in his driveway. Kid Cudi, in a statement to the New York Times, corroborated the account. On the night of September 16, 2024, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was arrested by federal agents in New York following a sealed indictment. Although the specific charges remain undisclosed, sources suggest this could be tied to a series of ongoing investigations, including accusations related to financial misconduct and possible personal infractions. Combs was apprehended at a Manhattan hotel and is expected to face federal court soon, where the charges will be officially unsealed. On the night of September 16, 2024, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was arrested by federal agents in New York following a sealed indictment. Although the specific charges remain undisclosed, sources suggest this could be tied to a series of ongoing investigations, including accusations related to financial misconduct and possible personal infractions. Combs was apprehended at a Manhattan hotel and is expected to face federal court soon, where the charges will be officially unsealed. This arrest follows months of legal scrutiny surrounding Combs' business and personal dealings. His legal team has labeled the charges as unjust and vowed to vigorously defend him in court. Many are awaiting further developments, as this case could significantly impact the legacy of one of the music industry's most prominent figures. In a decisive move, federal prosecutors have requested the pretrial detention of Sean Combs, known by several aliases including Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and Diddy, citing a grave risk posed by his potential release. Combs was arrested following a grand jury indictment that charges him with a long-standing pattern of physical and sexual violence spanning several decades. The detailed indictment, unveiled by the Southern District of New York, charges Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and interstate transportation for prostitution, activities allegedly conducted from as early as 2008. According to prosecutors, Combs leveraged his prominent status in the music and entertainment industry to commit and conceal federal crimes, including the sexual exploitation of women through coercion and violence. Prosecutors argue that Combs poses an immediate danger to the community and presents a significant flight risk. They assert that no set of bail conditions could effectively mitigate these risks due to Combs' extensive resources and his demonstrated willingness to obstruct justice. Historical instances cited include Combs' attempts to bribe security personnel, threaten witnesses, and manipulate the narratives presented to victims to prevent them from testifying or reporting crimes. The letter to Judge Tarnowski outlines several disturbing incidents where Combs allegedly organized abusive sexual encounters known as freak-offs that he directed and recorded. These events often involved physical and emotional abuse and were facilitated by the use of drugs to overpower victims' resistance. Combs is accused of causing extensive physical and emotional damage to participants, actions corroborated by a multitude of witnesses, according to the prosecution. Additionally, prosecutors highlight Combs' alleged obstruction of justice following the exposure of his actions, including directly contacting and attempting to manipulate witnesses and victims. Such behavior underscores the ongoing risk he poses not only to the safety of potential witnesses, but to the integrity of the judicial process itself. Given the severity of the charges and the compelling evidence presented, the prosecution urges that Combs be held without bail, stressing that his behavior exhibits a clear pattern of dangerousness and manipulation that no bail conditions could adequately address. The request places significant emphasis on protecting the community and ensuring the integrity of the legal proceedings as the case moves forward. Let's explore some of the I told you so moments that may have hinted at or even prompted federal investigations into Combs. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts.
From the media standpoint, your trial was the Puffy trial. Do you feel that worked against you all, the fact that 99% of the focus was on him?
Obviously, he was the uber star, and I was just up and coming, so, yeah, it's gonna be a show. But he used that to just, just threw me off. Like, it was terrible, man.
To many, Jamal Shine Barrow is an answer to a trivia question, as the man who once stood trial alongside Sean Puffy Combs. While all eyes were fixated on the hip-hop mogul, few paid much, if any, attention to the plight of his 22-year-old protege. Now, 3 years into Shine's decade-long sentence, for the first time ever, the imprisoned rapper speaks on camera about his co-defendant and the infamous trial that landed him here, behind bars.
People probably have the impression that you're just consumed with the idea that, justice wasn't served here and that somebody turned his back on you.
It's not a matter of, turning your back on me. Like, how do you call a witness to testify against your comrade?
That witness Shine is referring to is Sharice Myers, a bouncer who was working inside Club New York when shots rang out that December night in 1999. In court, Myers claimed that she fell on top of Puffy during the shooting and said that he did not have a gun. But even as her testimony helped exonerate Puffy, it implicated Shine. Myers told jurors that it was Shine who first opened fire inside the club, letting off 2 shots toward the ceiling. Shine's lawyers conceded that their client fired his gun, but only in self-defense. Shine has maintained from the beginning that Myers' testimony, asserting that he was the first to open fire on that fateful night, is untrue.
If I'm telling you that she's lying, and you saying, hey, she helping me, but I'm facing 25 years, and you looking at probation. Yeah, those are the things that, you understand, are unacceptable. You don't have to hold my hand. You don't have to do nothing, but don't try to hurt me.
What continues to haunt Shine to this day is that Myers wasn't called by the prosecution, but rather by his co-defendant's legal team. In his eyes, a move that doomed his own defense.
This woman was the most damaging witness of any witness. She was worse than the prosecution's witness. Right. Which destroyed me, because the prosecution is saying I'm this belligerent, reckless, OK corralled fella, and then my co-defendant is saying the same thing. That was it.
MTV News recently asked Sean Combs to respond to Shine's allegations, and he emphatically refuted the rapper's interpretation of events.
I did not force anybody or tell anybody to say anything that would damage or hurt Shine's case. I just wouldn't do that. That would not be my intent whatsoever. And that's all I'm really going to say about the matter, not to get into any negative back and forth, because y'all know me over the years on MTV News being involved in certain things. Right now my life is positive, and I'm going to keep it like that.
Just as damning as Sharice Myers' testimony, according to Shine, was the team of lawyers appointed to him by Sean Combs. Shine says Murray Richmond and others were at one time on the payroll of Combs' record label, Bad Boy. Because Puffy's defense implicated Shine in the shootings, Shine says having his own lawyers bankrolled by Bad Boy posed a conflict of interest.
As I understand it anyway, the fact that your lawyers, as it turns out, originally were on Puff's payroll, on the Bad Boy payroll, that's part of this current effort to get the case retried, right?
More or less. Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about that and when you learned that they were on the Bad Boy payroll?
Well, it was always on the payroll, you dig, but that was at a point where I thought that was my comrade, so I ain't have it like
sense.
that. Yeah,
right.
I was a fledgling artist, like,
right.
I didn't, Shine album didn't come out yet, so I didn't really have it like that. But at the point where, he calling the witnesses, to do me dirty, then you understand that, well, man, if these guys is working for him, because I went to the judge like 3 times complaining about inefficiency with my lawyers, because they was just dumbing out. Like witnesses be on the stand, they would ask them 2 questions that didn't make sense and then sit down. It's obvious that they were selling me, you understand, in order to appease him. You know, there was a dual loyalty there.
Shine's trial attorney, Murray Richmond, responded to Shine's accusations by telling MTV News in a statement, quote, "I had absolutely no connection to Puffy Combs. My checks were handed to me by Shine. I'm sorry he feels animosity towards me. I wish him nothing but the best."
I am a widow. God rest my husband's soul. I am a lover of art. I have a reupholstery business. I'm a life insurance agent. I am a woman of many things. I call myself a Renaissance woman. I do many things. I have lots of skills and gifts, and I'm thankful to the Most High for them all. I'm also a victim survivor. I like to call myself a survivor. I was a victim of a shooting that night in the club, December 27th, 1999, shot in the face by Sean Puffy Combs. I was an innocent bystander. There's this notion online, what you did to make him shoot you? Nothing. But not that I or anybody deserved it. I was an innocent bystander, but I am a survivor. 24-year survivor.
So with that being said, right, if you don't mind, can you give me a play-by-play of everything that took place when you got shot by Diddy at the nightclub?
So when we got to the front of the club, there were lots of people outside. And anyone who's familiar with the club scene knows, especially a club that's considered popping, they're always going to leave some degree of a line outside so that the additional people who arrive think, oh, wow, look at all these people. It must really be jumping. It's just a whole marketing thing for the nightclub scene. It's what they do. So there were tons of people outside. We pulled up to we got out, we went in front of the club, and so many people, I can say that I was relatively popular, and I knew so many people out there. And everybody kept saying, Ab, what you doing here? I thought you was in the church. I thought what you coming to preach a sermon? People were making jokes and stuff like that. And I thought it was funny. We laughed. And I was like, no, I'm just out here chilling, helping Stacey promote. And everybody kept calling my name. People were because people had kind of steered away from me for a while. You know how it is when you first get saved and you swing the pendulum all the way to the far left. Now, everybody that comes in your presence, you're like, let me lay hands on you, girl. The Father God told me to tell you this. And everybody was like, stay clear of Eb. She got the Holy Ghost in her. Steer clear of her. So eventually you kind of swing your pendulum back and settle somewhere in the middle that's comfortable. But at that time, like I said, I was freshly saved. So I was a holy roller. But in being a friend, I'm loyal. I promised Stacey that I would be there for her. And so I was. Instantly when I walked in, I felt, well, let me back that up. So the owner of the club, he has like brothers or something. They all look alike. There's this group of people, the Burgos family. They all look alike. He came to the door and said, how many are you guys? How many's with you, Stacey? She counted us out and we all went in. So they made us come in. When I was approaching the security guard, this particular one security guard, a female security named Sharice Myers, who was found out that she lied and committed fraud and all this stuff. When I was walking in, she checked my bag and she's like, you can't bring this in here. This is a weapon. It was a comb, a hair comb, a rat tail comb. She made such a big to-do about this comb, took it out of my bag, yet you allow 4 people or 3 people to come in with guns. Like, make it make sense. So we get in the club. She takes my comb. She makes this big scene. We get in the club, and I'm really, the entire time I'm in this frame of mind, like, why did I come? Why did I come? I was only in the club an hour and 15 minutes before I got shot. While I was standing there, right across from me at the other side, which is where the bar was, I saw Scar, Matthew Allen, the guy that Puffy got into the fight with, that caused this whole melee to take place. I knew Scar. Scar's mother lived across the street from one of my beauty salons. I've known Scar from the street. I've known him for years, and we were cool. So he's like, hey, what you doing in here? Because he knew I got saved too. And so he's like, uh-oh, praise the Lord, you up in here? What you doing in here? He tried to say something to him or whatever, and then they said whatever they said. And then one of the guys that was with Scar, apparently Puffy gestured in some type of way that they didn't like. And one of the guys that was with Scar slapped him in the face with a wad of money. It was like the young guys are now on, doing that little phone brick thing Well, he had this wad of money in his hand for whatever reason, because I wasn't standing near them. I was across. But all I know is I saw when he swung and slapped and money was raining through the sky and falling to the floor. Everybody started trying to run and pick up money, and it was just craziness. It was lights, action, camera, people scurrying for money, trying to catch money out of the sky, and that melee was still taking place. Now, when I saw that, I turned around to my friend and I was like, uh-oh, shit is getting crazy in here. You see this? And never in a million years did I think it would escalate to a shooting. I thought it was male bravado. It was cold as ice outside, so I had no reason to believe it would get to that. But in no time, one thing led to another. The money was falling down. And then I hear the raised voices, and I see Shine and Puffy start backing back. Now, we don't all watch the Hood movie or whatever. We know what it looks like when people are backing back and reaching from their hip to pull. So as they were backing back, they were drawing from their hip. And I turned to tell my friend, like, ooh, girl, watch out. Oh, my God. Because there was really nowhere for me to go. Where I was standing, there was a wrought iron metal rail to my back. I couldn't go. There was a drop over that. In fact, one of my friends fell over it onto the dance floor after everything happened. There was nowhere for me to go. And so as they were going back, they were backing back, like literally walking backwards towards the door, drawing from their hip. I told my friend, I said, oh my God, watch out. As I turned back to look at them, I watched them bow, bow. Both of them fired, and the muzzle flash was like, psh, psh. Shine's muzzle flash was a little higher. He was on the side closest to the bar. Puffy's muzzle flash was a little lower, and he was on the side closest to where I was, straight ahead from me. I watched them both fire their guns. I watched them. I got hit right here in my nose, in between my eyes, which means I'm facing directly at you. Just like I'm looking at you, and I can tell you got on black shades. They kind of look like Cazelles and an Adidas shirt. That's exactly how I was looking at him.
New York City. And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Uh-huh.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem.
Yeah.
I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Right? Where you look at an artist, Mace, right, was upset for you for years.
Yes.
Then down the line, he has an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And then recently, his artist is upset because he's basically said allegedly that Mace didn't pay him, and there was problems.
Yeah.
And do you look at that and be like, that's just an executive, or is it one of those things like I told you?
No, I don't look at it like that. First of all,
because what he had a problem with you his artist saying the same
first
thing.
of all, see, I didn't do nothing to him. So let's go back to the first of all. The first of all is there has been negative propaganda put out about me that's not true, and has really tried to stain my legacy. I've always been a person, I don't like to get in just talking people's business and things like that. But not right now. I have made it my purpose that when I come back, I can't have y'all following me, because I am here to be a leader and to give some direction. if you think that I'm a scumbag that would ever steal anything, my name is Diddy, Sean Combs. I never took nothing from nobody a day in my life. All I've ever given is opportunity and more money than a person was making. So when I hear like, or I see things, and I'm like, wow, this vibe that they got on me, like I'm Big Red or something. I came here, I had to open up the doors.
So you're saying you don't steal from artists, is what you're saying?
Never.
So how does a narrative like that happen with so many different people?
Because people have this thing called the tap out button. When you get to a certain point and the money is running low, you gotta run this hustle to try to find somebody to blame. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I have all my receipts. And so we are gonna do a special, a retrospective with all the artists, and we're gonna get this narrative clear because it comes from different tactics when people wanna get out of contracts. And a lot of people that speak on this, y'all don't know the business, y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. So it's gonna be a teaching moment of love because it is important, I feel, fight for your reputation. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna fight for my reputation. I'm gonna fight for the honorable man I am, the righteous king that I am. I'm not perfect, you know what I'm saying? There could have been an accountant mess up on this one or that one, things that happen in the business. But me actually, like, I'm running a hustle to get money. I started delivering papers at 12 years old. I was a millionaire when I was 19, you know what I'm saying? And so I will be making sure that the truth comes out because that's not going down in my legacy. And to me, that's the worst thing in the world is a thief. The thief is the worst thing. His hand should be chopped. Her hand should be chopped off. His or her hand should be, that's the way I feel about somebody taking something from somebody that ain't theirs, you know what I'm saying? When you could go out and you could go and work for something. And so that right there, I just in general, the Mace thing, I did one album with Mace. One album. How much money do you think I owe this guy? One album, and then he became a fake pastor and went and conned people, and then y'all gonna let him throw dirt on the God's name? I wrote each and every one, and each and everybody could come and step up. Bring your receipts. But I'm not playing. I'm back outside and I'm fighting back for us. And I'm also do a little fighting back for me. You know what I'm saying? So
how much money does, and I'm just throwing this out, how much money does somebody like a Mace owe you? Because the reason I say that.
Mace owes me $3 million. That's facts. I got the receipt.
Second album, you gave him money to do a second album, never delivered.
Did the album, never delivered. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to go back and forth with Mace. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going back and forth with nobody. I'm just going to, if I'm here, I'm going to speak up for myself. I'm going to speak up for myself now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to have you think something that I hate. I hate a thief. I hate somebody that don't got, and I don't hate nobody, but that's with somebody that just got to take something that somebody else worked for just for their benefit and their friend. I don't like that.
So you're really doing a special, like you're taping a special to address
I think Diddy just came up with that idea right now.
No, I was more saying, I'm going to use, I have a very successful, thank you to everybody for supporting, network. So yeah, I'm going to go and tell my story on my network with one of my podcasts. And I'm going to also get the artists that together to help me clear this up.
What would the lot say?
Like I spoke to the lot. Yeah, I told the lot. They gonna help me clear it up. Yeah. They know, the truth gonna be the truth. But we gonna get to the truth. As long as I'm outside, we gonna get, not trying to start nothing with nobody. Mace, I love Mace. And I will tell anybody thinks I owe him something, show me the receipt. You get paid in 24 hours. Because sometimes there's a count.
This nigga told me he want receipts. Let's start with your mother, nigga. Your mother got the receipts, nigga. Everything is in your mother's name. That's the one who got the receipts, nigga. You need more proof, nigga? Biggie ain't here, so Big can't give you no receipts. He dead. Craig Mack can't give you receipts. He dead. What are you talking about? Who else? Black Rob can't give you receipts. He dead. And everybody else you made sign paperwork so they can't talk about what I'm talking about. I'm the only one with the guts. And I sign it, nigga. Cause I ain't need the money. All money ain't good money. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that, nigga. You know who to play with, nigga.